Hello and welcome. This is Cherie with Rehashfiber. We are in the middle of the series of learning how to knit, and today I'm going to talk about the knit purl stitch and a couple of variations in using them to create different effects. If you are interested in this whole series of learning how to knit, you can find it at Rehashfiber. The playlist is Beginners Learn to Knit Lessons, and there you will find every single step. So today I'm going to show you up close how you can knit and purl and make the rib effect and to make the seed stitch. There are a large variety of things you can do. Just varying up the knit and purl stitch, it's really exciting. But today I'm going to show you these two basics, so let's take a close look right now. And after that, we'll have a little bit more fun fiber talk. One great use for having knit and purl together is for ribbing. It is when you do knit, purl, alternating all the way across, and then even on the wrong side doing the same thing, which creates a nice elasticy feel to your fabric and is often used at the bottom of garments and the end of sleeves. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Keep the tail out of the way, and we're going to use the working yarn, and we're going to start with a knit stitch. So go ahead and just do one knit. Now you're going to swing this yarn strand from the back to the front, and you're going to purl. This is a very efficient way to do this, and that is why Continental is so wonderful. Now you slip it off and you just bring your working yarn to the back and do a knit stitch. Working yarn to the front, purl, working yarn back, knit, yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, knit. We're going to take that all the way across. All right, we're going to purl, we're going to knit, and we're going to purl. Now we're going to take a look at the work. We're still on the right side, just checking it out. You're going to see these stitches. It looks like a knit, and the purl has the little bump, or you could say a little purl bump. A knit, purl, knit, purl. All right, so now we're going to put the needle in the left hand, flipping it over. We're now on the wrong side. We are going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to knit into the knit stitches and purl into the purl stitches. So you see how they look like this over here, a knit and a purl. We're going to do it for each one. We're going to take it all the way across, and then we're going to take a look at it. Knitting, purl, knit, and purl. Okay, we're going to take a little peek at it. You see how you're getting a ribbed effect. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and rib 4 more rows, and then we're going to take another look at it. So I did a few rows of ribbing, and you get the idea. You see that nice little stretch? It's nice for the bottom of garments. So then I went ahead and just did stockinette stitch. I did a knit row and a purl row just to move it up a little bit so you could see the difference from rib to that, and then to also get us ready for the next thing I'm going to show you. Now another fun stitch for knit and purl is called the seed stitch. It starts out like a rib where you do knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, but then when you flip it over and on the wrong side, you're going to purl into the knit stitches and knit into the purl stitches, and it creates a really neat kind of bumpy fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and do a knit purl side here, and then when I turn it over, I'm going to show you what we do. So I'll take you through the first couple and the last couple of just the regular, and then I'll show you. what happens. So for seed stitch, we're going to knit, purl, knit, purl. Coming into the end of this row here, we're going to knit and purl, which is what we did all the way across. That was on the right side. Now we're going to turn it over on the wrong side. And now we're going to purl into this stitch that looks like a knit. So it's like opposites of rib. You end up knitting into the purls, purling into the knits. You will see how it turns out here in just a little bit. So you see that was a knit. I'm going to purl into it. This is a purl. See that purl bump? I'm going to knit into that one. Feels funny at first. Then you get it. So you get the idea there. I'm purling into the knits. Knitting into the purls. So what I'm going to do, and have you do as well, is go ahead and do that for 4 to 6 rows, whatever you feel like, just so you can see what the fabric looks like with seed stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine, and I'll be right back with you. So here we have a few rows of seed stitch. You see how interesting that is? It gives nice little bumps throughout. So it's really fun just to see how your knits and your purls and how you do them can make 2 different effects in your knitting. All right, so I just want to say as a reminder with the seed stitch, when you're doing it, you're always doing the opposite of the stitch that you're looking at. So if it looks like a knit stitch, you're going to purl into it, and the purl stitch, you're going to knit into it. Just wanted to make that clear. All right, have you been wondering what kivute is? It is the soft fur of the muskox. They grow it for the winter months. It's under their guard hair and it keeps them warm. Well, it can be combed off of them or they shed it. It can be spun into yarn and made into garments that are very warm and very soft. So when I first learned about this, I was so intrigued. I had to go to Alaska and meet the muskox at the muskox farm in Palmer. And it was a wonderful experience. So if you're at all curious, I'm going to link that video to the end of the show, and you can see what muskox and their kivute is all about. All right, everybody, happy practicing these variations of the knit purl stitch, and thanks for watching.